We are back again with our concept map, so I'll be further explaining the links and what I added to what we already had, what the concept map already had. Okay, so we'll be diving into which is materials. We'll be discussing more about metal and non-metals, and then showing how they link to what we did in the EDTE 313 313 module this semester. So as you can see, the concept of metals are, they have properties such as they are mined, they are shiny, they are strong, they are magnetic, they are malleable, conduct heat and electricity, and they have a high density. When we look at the examples of metals, we have cooking utensils, which is our knives, our fork, our teaspoons, we have screws, we have bolts, we have nuts. These are categorized in a way that they are good conductors of heat. A good conductor is something that allows heat to pass through. And then we have another example of metals, which is a gold, our iron, our aluminum, our silver, and our lead. These are malleable, and malleability means that the property it has a property that allows it to be beaten into flat sheets. Okay, so we will add the links that are present here are those with a periodic table where you find substances such as gold, iron, aluminium, copper, uranium, terinium, and selenium. So these copper, uranium, ceramium are ductile. Ductile means that it is able to stretch into a wire. So when I add in links what we did this semester, we did a tutorial on the periodic table whereby we in the periodic table we have different substances such as copper, gold, iron, lead, silver, and terbium. Okay, so in our tutorial we looked at it in Sims. It looked at an activity that showed us the symbols. So in the activity we were expected to find what are the symbols of these different metals. What is the symbol of copper? What is the symbol of gold? What is the symbol of iron? The symbol of copper is usually C. The symbol of iron is usually Fe. Okay, and if we move on, also we're expected to look at the atomic number of these different um, metal metal materials in our tutorial where we had to find the atomic number. We also had to find how many protons and electrons do they have. The last time we looked at was on which side of the periodic table do we find these? We usually find these on the left hand side. We find metals on the left hand side. This generally links to what we did in our matter and material, whereby we looked at the periodic table. We looked at how substances are situated or organized in the periodic table. Moving on to non-metals. Non-metals have properties such as they are dull, they are brittle, they have poor conductors of heat, and they have a low density. If you look at different examples of non-metals, we have hydrogen, we have oxygen, nitrogen, we have carbon, we have phosphorus. When we open it up, hydrogen and helium make up of 98% of the mass on the Earth and the universe, and living organisms consist of carbon dioxide. Yeah. And when I link it to the tutorial activity that we did this semester, it also will stick to in the periodic table. And when we looked at non-metals, the non-metals we looked at were hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, and helium. What we expected to do in the tutorial was to look at the atomic number of these substances. For example, the atomic number for oxygen is 16. Oh, I'm not mistaken, 16. And they are usually found on the right hand side of the periodic table. If I link the non-metals to the non-metals, these non-metals also have electrons and protons that are that are present in them and the atoms. It can also be linked to the activities we did on atoms. It can also be linked to atoms